Okay, welcome back, participants. Welcome to the last third session of day 4. I again welcome Dr. Manish Kansal for sparing his time. And this time, Dr. Pooja Gupta will chair this session. And in case of any doubts or queries, you can simply post to Dr. Pooja. Last 15 minutes, the expert will take care of the queries. Okay, yes, Dr. Manish, sir, you can start.
Yes, 1 second, please.
Okay, Manisha, there is a request from the candidate yet. If you can share your PPTs, is it possible with the participants, or already I have shared your video on YouTube?
Yeah, no problem. I will share my PPT after the session is over. I will give
Yes,
you
sir.
the
Yes,
PDF.
sir. Then we will share through email with the participants.
Yes, no problem. And one additional thing, I will also share the list of recommended books for numerical methods using MATLAB. I
Yes,
will
sir.
send you the PDF. You can send it to the participants.
Yeah, actually, we are creating a Google group. So at the end of, dear participants, at the end of this workshop or before the end of this workshop, we will create a Google group and we will share everything, whatever will be given by the experts in that group only. So don't worry. Okay. Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Okay. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So we continue with our previous discussion. So we have done till IBT. Now I'm going to describe the bisection method for computing the roots of the equation fx is equal to 0, right? So first let me tell you something about bisection method so that we can make a MATLAB program to evaluate the roots of the nonlinear equation fx is equal to 0, right? So this is the equation given to you. This is given, right? And we want to calculate the root of this equation. Let us call that root as alpha. So here alpha is our simple root. Now you already know the definition of simple root. That means f of alpha is 0, but f dash alpha is not 0, right? So the bisection method says that it is based on intermediate value theorem, right? So intermediate value theorem is, okay, suppose you are given some continuous function. Let us say f is continuous on the given interval, say a to b. Then we calculate f of a and f of b, right? So if f of a into f of b is less than 0, that means both functions have opposite sign at the endpoints. Then IBT says that there exists at least one root, say p, in the interval such that we can say f of p becomes 0, right? So if you look at the geometry, then you will see that suppose you have some function here, some function is given to you. Say you have a function like this, right? So let us say at endpoint a, the value of the function is negative. At the right hand point, say the value is positive, right? Like this. So if you have a continuous function such that f of a into f of b is less than 0, then there exists at least one root inside a and b. So here we call this number as a root, right? Where it crosses the x-axis, geometrical. This is the meaning of IBT. Now, the bisection method is based on this property. See, we are starting with the interval, say a to b, right? So in this particular interval, we are going to find out the root. Now, once you find out the interval ab with the help of the toolbox that we have discussed in our previous lecture, or you can make use of your fplot command. So you will be able to find out this particular interval where the root is lying, right? So once you get this initial interval, you can proceed with the numerical method. So we are going to discuss here the first numerical method, that is bisection method. So what is the idea of bisection method? This is a very simple and straightforward to see that. So once you start with the initial interval, so bisection method says that you bisect the interval into two halves. Let me write down the midpoint as C. So here, what is C? C is your A plus B by 2, right? Now let us suppose, without loss of generality, I am assuming that, say, the value at A is negative and the value at B is positive. You can take otherwise also. So now you take the midpoint. Now you compute your f of c, right? Function is given to you. You can easily calculate the value of f of c. So let us suppose the value is positive here, right? Value of f of c is positive real number. Then you say that we discard the second half and we retain the first half. That is, according to IBT, the root will lie in the first half. Therefore, we discard the second half. Now, similarly, we continue our search and again we bisect the interval into two halves. Let us say the new midpoint is C1. So now what is your C1? C1 will be, this will be A plus C by 2, right? Now the sign at A was negative, sign at C was positive. So again, you find out the value of the function at C1. It can be positive, it can be negative. So let us say, for example, you assume that the value is negative here, right? So according to IVT, what we say, we will discard the first half and we retain the second half, right? Because the value at the end point is of opposite sign. This is the statement of IVT. IVT says if you have a function which is continuous such that the value of the function at endpoints is having opposite sign, then there is at least one root, right? So continue like this, you go on applying IVT step by step, then you will either reach at a root after some iterations. So you continue with the procedure. So after some iteration, either you will get a root, let us say this is the root, and this is the rare chance that you will get the exact root after a few iterations, or the second option is you will get some interval. Let us say this interval is of certain length. Let us say we call it, say, A star, B star. Let us say this is the interval after n number of steps, right? So the root will be sitting inside this interval, and this is in our hand that you choose the length of the interval to be less than the desired tolerance. Here epsilon denotes the, this denotes the tolerance, right? So whenever the length of the interval is less than tolerance, we say that we will stop our iteration process, right? So this is the idea, this is the brief idea of bisection method, that how we proceed with the help of bisection method, right? So first thing is, this is based on IVT, applicable for continuous functions, and step by step we go on bisecting the interval into two halves. Then you just apply IVT. After some stages, either you will get the root or you will attain the interval which will contain the root. So that depends upon the error tolerance, that after how many steps you have to stop, right? So now here one important point we have to discuss, that we will look for some stopping criteria, right? So there are different stopping criteria available to us in numerical techniques, right? So let us say first stopping criteria, I'm writing down few ones, there are many others also. So let us say first stopping criteria, that is, you take the difference of two consecutive approximations, right? So when this is less than tolerance, here epsilon is your tolerance value, right? So when this is less than tolerance, then we stop the iteration process. This is the idea, right? So where, what is xk? Xk is the current guess, and xk minus 1 is the previous approximation, right? So whenever the difference between these two becomes less than error tolerance, this will be given in the equation, let us say 0.001, this is given to you. So whenever this difference becomes less than epsilon, we will stop the iteration process, right? Now similarly, there is another one. This is in terms of absolute error, you can say this is the absolute error, right? So now second one is we can also make use of this one, right? When this becomes less than epsilon, then again we can stop. So this is in context of relative error, right? Second one. Now third one, we have, say, because you are calculating approximations, say x1, x2, x3, these are the approximation, and we assume that these approximations are converging to some particular number, that is, say, alpha. Alpha is your final solution. So the idea here is when you plug in the approximation, let us say xk, into the function, right? Because these are the approximations of roots. Xk is your approximation to the root alpha. So whenever you plug in your approximation into the function, so we want that it should be 0. But because this is the approximation, this will never be exactly equal to 0, but this will be something like 0.0000, some non-zero number then appears, right? So we say that whenever this absolute value becomes less than error tolerance, then we will stop the iteration process, right? So this is generally known as residual. This is known as residual error. There are many other stopping criteria in research work. Sometimes we make use of this and this. We can club these two stopping criteria. We make the linear combinations of 1 and 3. Similarly, you can apply any other stopping criteria also. So these are the basic ones which we study in undergraduate courses. First one is with respect to relative absolute error. Second one is with respect to relative error, and third one is the residual error, right? So in bisection method, there is another one, that is, we will talk about the length of the interval. Why? Because, say, this is your given interval a to b. Now let us say the root is lying somewhere here, say alpha, right? So bisection method says you go on bisecting the interval into halves, then continue with the IBT. After some stage, either you will get the root or you will get the interval which will contain the root, right? So we say that at each step, like at first step, what is the length of the interval? That is b minus a. At first stage, the length of the interval is b minus a. Then at next step, the length becomes half because we are bisecting the interval, right? So this becomes b minus a by 2. At next stage, it again get half. So we get b minus a by 2 square, and so on. So the length of the interval is reducing by 1/2, right? So in case of bisection, we can also say that we will stop the iteration process, right? We will stop the iteration process whenever the length of the interval is, say, less than your tolerance value. I will say that मैं तब तक iterations करूंगा जब तक मेरी जो length of the interval है वो less than, say, 0.001 आ जाए. Only then I will stop. Otherwise, I will continue procedure like this, right? So this is the idea of bisection, and these are the few stopping criteria that I have written over here. Now, one more point I want to write down here, that is with respect to number of iterations. Number of iterations. We also have one idea regarding number of iterations only in case of bisection method. We will not discuss this formula in case of Newton or secant or any other iterative technique, right? So this is applicable for bisection. What it says that, let us say I have written over here that at first stage the length of the interval is b minus a, then b minus a by 2, then b minus a by 2 square, and so on. So after n number of steps, I will say that, let us say your length of the interval becomes b minus a by 2 to the power n, right? So this is the number of steps. After n number of steps, you see that the length of the interval becomes this. Now I want that this should be less than tolerance, right? you can take tolerance is equal to say epsilon here. This is given in the equation, generally given in the equation, or you can say this is user defined, right? Now what we do, we try to estimate the number of iterations using this relation. So this is a inequality. You can take the log on both sides. So this is log of b minus a minus n log of 2 less than equal to log of tolerance. So this implies that n is greater than equal to log of b minus a minus log of say tolerance. I will write down the tolerance by epsilon divided by log 2, right? So this is the formula for estimating the number of iterations. So this is the theoretical formula. This is the theoretical formula for number of iterations, right? So we will also estimate the number of iterations computationally. So this is very much important, that whenever we say something theoretically in numerical analysis, we expect that the same kind of results we get computationally, not exactly, but to some extent nearby results computationally if we get, then that will be very good. Otherwise there is some flaw in the theory, right? So this is the theoretical formula. Whatever the answer is given by this formula, n is greater than equal to something, right? So we hope that whenever we run the bisection method, so computationally we get nearby number of iterations, that is used by the bisection method, right? Used by bisection method to achieve the error tolerance, let us say epsilon, in the given interval a to b, right? So this is the idea, that we will apply bisection method on particular error tolerance. This is either given in the equation, or we take like 0.01 or 0.001, and we apply this on the given interval a to b. This is given in the equation. Either this is given to you, right? Or you can apply IVT, or you can apply graphical approach, or you can go with the NMM toolbox, right? That is the Bragg plot command that we have discussed in the previous lecture, right? So this idea, this will give you the idea of initial interval, then you can apply your bisection method. So this is the, I think this is the theoretical background of the bisection method. Now we can directly go to the implementation of bisection method into MATLAB, and we will try to solve few questions based on the bisection method. So let me just share you the screen for MATLAB. Okay. Yes, are you seeing the screen of MATLAB?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have some questions. I have some questions written in the PDF in the presentation. I'm not just sharing the screen with you for that PDF. Just I'm going to write down first equation. I will tell you what is the statement of the question. Then we will try to make a code for the bisection method, right? So we are given the function, say f is equal to, because when we implement MATLAB and your PDF, तो थोड़ा font size में थोड़ी सी दिक्कत आ रही है. That is why I'm just skipping the presentation part. So if you write down the function, let us say function is given to you, say 0.25 into x raised to the power 4, right, minus 1.5 into x raised to the power 3, then minus x square plus 3.1 into x minus 3. So this is my first question, right? So I will share the statement with you. Some equation is given. This is the corresponding equation. Fx is equal to 0. I have just written the MATLAB code for it. This is the handle command. We have input the function. Now I want to find out the root of this equation. Fx is equal to 0 in the interval minus 2.5 to 0, this is given to you, right? So initial interval is minus 2.5 comma 0, this is given, right? So I should write down here, given the initial interval this, we want to find out the root of the equation, right? Now here some error tolerance is given. If this is not given, you can take error tolerance to be, let us say, 0.00001, let us say, take this one, right? So this is the initial conditions. So either you can say you can verify this interval with the help of fplot command, you can go with the bragg plot, you can go with the simple fplot, right? So you can verify that there is a root between minus 2.5 and 0, right? So we are just going to find that root in this interval, right? So let me just write down the code for bisection. Now you please look at the code for bisection. How do we proceed with the help of bisection? So I will not open the PDF here. So let us say first you write down the endpoints. We will take the input of endpoints, say input the left endpoint, enter left end point, right? So this is the first line. I will input the left hand point, then you input your right hand point, enter right hand point, right? So once you enter A and B, now you will write down the tolerance that is given to you. If this is not given in the equation, you can take 0.01 or 0.001, that is user defined. Okay, so let me take 0.001, 10 to the power minus 3 I am taking, right? Now first thing what we do in bisection method, now you have to keep theory in your mind. So the first stage is we check the sign of the function at the endpoints. If the sign is same, then we say that we cannot apply bisection, because bisection method is applicable only when IVT is satisfied, right? So let me write down one condition, that if you get f of a into f of b greater than 0, that means sign is same, right? So we will not proceed further. So what is the command for that? If now in the previous lecture we have seen that you can make use of sign function here, right? If sign of f of a is same as, for same I will write down double equal sign, if sign is same as f of b, what does it mean? That if you calculate f of a, f of b, if the sign is same, then what should be the output? So there should be error, or it should display the warning that function has same sign at the end points, right? So it should give you the clear cut warning that if your function is having same sign at the end points, then we will not proceed further with the bisection method. So it should give you the error at the starting stage, so that you come to know that the function is having same sign, right? Now once you do this, if this is not the case, then you can start with your loop. So I am making here the loop while, right? So while loop आपको लगाना आता है थोड़ा सा. While loop में क्या करते हैं कि we make use of error tolerance. What we do here, we say that whenever the length of the interval, say the length of the interval is a minus b, so you can make use of absolute command here. So a minus b, whenever this is your greater than equal to tolerance. So actually I have given the pseudo code in your ppt. I'm not sharing that pdf with you right now, so just you look at the theory. So whenever your length of the interval is greater than equal to tolerance, ठीक है, so you have to proceed with the bisection method. So this is you bisect the interval. First stage is what you do, you bisect the interval into two halves. You just take a plus b by 2, right? So once you take a plus b by 2, now the second step is क्या करते हैं थ्योरी में, अगर थोड़ी थ्योरी अभी आपको कराइए याद है, so क्या करते हैं, we check the sign of the function, right? So if sign of, जैसे जैसे थ्योरी में की है वैसे वैसे लिखना है इसमें, if sign of f of a is opposite to sign of, say, f of c. Now you check the sign of f of c. If f of a into f of c, they are of opposite sign, right? So what we say, if the value of the function at a and the value of the function at c, they are of opposite sign, then what you say that given interval is a to b. If the value at a and c are of opposite sign, then you say that you retain the first half and you discard the second half. That means your right hand point is refined. That means your right hand point is defined. That means b is equal to c. Now, if this is not the case, then you say that you make use of else statement, then you refine your a. This is the condition, because अगर आपका a और c के ऊपर जो साइन है वो ऑपोजिट आए हैं तो राइट हैंड पॉइंट रिफाइन होगा. अगर आपका c और b के ऊपर साइन जो ऑपोजिट आएंगे तो आपका लेफ्ट हैंड पॉइंट क्या होगा, रिफाइन होगा. सो एल्स वी मेक a is equal to c. Now what we do, we end this loop, ठीक है, तो while loop लगाया है, so we have to make increments. So we generally write I is equal to I plus 1. For that I have to initialize, right? I is equal to 0. So let me just end this. Now this is the small sophisticated program for bisection method. Now just you have to take some outputs, right? So what are the outputs you want to take? First we want to display the root, right? So let me write down the command for displaying the root. So I will make use of fprintf command here. So this is \n. So you say that the root is, what is the root? This is for floating, right? So you just say that the root is c, because the notation for the root is c. At each interval the midpoint is taken to be c, right? So this is getting refined because you are operating the while loop, so it will get refined at each stage whenever you run this loop, right? So this is the first output that you want to see. You want to see your root after certain stages when the error tolerance is achieved, right? Now second thing is you want to see fprintf, right? So you want to see your number of iterations. So you can write down the number of iterations, used computationally. I should write down the word here, computationally, right? Computationally, right? So I should use the word computation because theoretically कुछ और आता है, computationally कभी answer drift करता है. So we should write down the word computationally. So that is equal to say the iterations are given by I here. So I should write down I, right? Now what else you want to see? We want to see the number of iterations theoretically, right? So let me just copy the same command. So number of iterations theoretically, right? So these are the few options you can make here. So basically this is what is number of iterations theoretically. So we have not given any formula for number of iterations here. So let me just give you the formula here. So what is the formula? If you remember, log of b minus a minus log of tolerance divided by log of 2. So that is n is equal to, let me call that n. So log of b minus a, right? log of b minus a minus log of tolerance. Let me call this TOL because ऊपर हमने TOL दिया इसको, ठीक है. So ये मेरा numerator है, this is my numerator divided by log of 2, ठीक है. So I will call this as n, right? Log of b minus a minus log of tolerance divided by log 2. So just एक check करने के लिए कि computationally how many iterations we are getting and theoretically. Okay, so I will take the queries at the end. Some people are asking why backslash n. Okay, so let me tell you, I have written backslash n in order to get the output in the new line. अगर ये हम यहाँ पे नहीं लिखेंगे backslash n, तो सारी की सारी जो आउटपुट्स हैं एक ही लाइन में आ जाएंगी. बैकस्लैश n मीन्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट लाइन. फर्स्ट यू विल, मैं इसको रन करके दिखाऊंगा, अभी आपको पता लगेगा उसमें, राइट. सो इट इज फॉर गोइंग टू नेक्स्ट लाइन, राइट. So let me write down here output n. Okay, so I think the program is complete. अगर कुछ इसमें है deficiency, then we will fulfill it. So first function is this 0 point. Let me cross verify the function value. This is the function 0.25 times x raised to the power 4 minus 1.5 into x cube minus x square plus 3.1 into x minus 3, right? So okay, so the interval is minus 2.5 comma 0 and the error tolerance is 0.001. So you can also take the tolerance in form of input here. So let me just write down the more general formula for you. So this is enter, you can write down here, enter tolerance, right? Okay, so I think the code is complete. So let me just show you the output, right? So we know that output will be taken in the command window. So इसको अभी थोड़ा सा minimize करते हैं. So let me run this. Okay, so this is bisection. You can give any name to the file. It will be saved as .m file and will be displayed in your current folder. All the files will be displayed in your current folder. So it is asking enter left hand point. So my left hand point is minus 2.5, right? Then enter right hand point, so that is 0. Then enter tolerance, that is 0.001. Now this is your answer. Answer is the root is minus 1.831665, right? So the number of iterations computationally, this is 12, right? And the number of iterations theoretically, with the help of theoretical formula, I have also given the derivation in the notepad, that is 11 point something. Obviously iterations cannot be 11 point something, so the nearest integer will be 12. So we are getting close answer computationally also. So whatever we are saying theoretically, that is implemented computationally, right? So the root here is minus 1.83. You can also verify by plotting the graph of this function f, right, with the help of fplot command. So let me just show you the another interval. Say I'm again, let me first clear this command window. Now the question is same. You can make fplot command use, and you just plot the graph of this function. You can see that there is a root between minus 2.5 and 0 that we have done in the previous lecture. I have taken the same example in order to show that there is a root inside minus 2.5 and 0, right? So basically in this given question, what happens if I say change the interval from minus 2.5 to 0, and let us say we change this interval to minus 1 comma 0, what happens? Let us see. Say I change the interval minus 1 comma 0. So error tolerance, again you can take 0.001. So Now you see the output. When you take the interval -1 comma 0, so the output is function has same sign at the endpoints, right? So IVT is not satisfied for the given interval, so method will not work, right? So let me just copy this function in the command window, right? Now let us try to evaluate, let us try to find out the value of the function at -1. एक बारी -1 पे वैल्यू चेक करो, ठीक है? So you input the function with the help of handle, then you find out f of -1. So the answer is -5.3. This is negative. So now you calculate f of 0. You calculate f of 0, right? So this is again negative. So when you multiply these two factors, you will get the positive answer. So it is saying that whenever the function has same sign at the endpoints, bisection method will not work, because IVT says that the function should have opposite signs at the endpoint, right? So we cannot proceed with the interval -1 to 0. So you have to make this kind of statement in your program for bisection method, so that you get to know that whether the method is applicable or the method is not applicable, right? So this is the first question that we have discussed here. Now we can go to the second one. Let me just, you can silent this one. Let me just write down the next one for you, then we can proceed with the next method, right? So let us say we have fx is equal to, say you want to calculate under root, say under root 29. Suppose you want to calculate under root 29 with the help of bisection method. So what we do, when you take under root 29, so your equation becomes x square minus 29, right? So I'm just writing down here x square minus 29. So basically I want to calculate under root 29. तो उसके लिए equation क्या बनेगी? X is equal to under root 29. You take square, you get x square equal to 29, x square minus 29 equal to 0, right? So this is your function. Okay. So इसको चलाते हैं अभी. Now you run this program. So the left end point, now it is asking for the interval. So you again keep in your mind whether you want to plot the graph of this function. You go to brag plot command. There are several options I have told you, but this is the simple question. He's asking for under root 29. We know that the answer is somewhere between 5 and 6. 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36. So the answer is somewhere lying between 5 and 6. So we already know the initial interval. Let us say I will start with 5 and 6. You can start with any other interval also, which is having less length, 0.001, right? So the answer is 5.385742, and the number of iterations it is getting 10 computationally. And for achieving this tolerance 0.01, the theoretical number of iterations is 9.96, right? So this is how you can proceed with the questions of square roots, cube roots, or any other nth root, right? So now you can also verify SQRT. आप इसका आंसर भी वेरीफाई कर लिया करो कमांड विंडो में. Say square root of 29, the command is SQRT. So this is 5.3852, right? So we get the close one with the help of bisection method, right? So this is the idea of bisection. This is how you can make a code. जैसे जैसे हम theory में पढ़ते हैं, similarly on the same parallel lines you try to write down a simple code. Otherwise, after making this simple code, you can make various alterations to the given code, right? So whenever you get good hand-on experience with the MATLAB, you can go with the advanced coding. Like you can make it a function file, you can plug in your input arguments in the function file and just call in that in the command window and get the outputs. So that is a more sophisticated programming, but we are just focusing on the base programming here, that how to write down the bisection method in MATLAB with the help of the theory and writing down the simple commands, right? So I have not gone into the so much complicated code for bisection. This is a very simple code for the bisection method. You can do various kind of alterations. You can include plot commands here. Let us say f plot of f in the given interval. You can see what is the range of f and so on, right? So this is the idea for bisection. I think we should now proceed with the next example or next program, that is for Newton's method. So let me just go to this slide, right? So let me just recall in 2-3 minutes. So this is the bisection method based on IVT. This is the statement. So this is the algorithm that we have discussed in the notepad. This is given over here, right? Now this is the graphical interpretation. You start with some interval. There is a root P. At A and B, the function is having opposite sign. You go on continuing like this. Then you either get the root or you get the interval which will contain the root. Now these are the stopping criteria. First one is absolute, then relative, then residual error, right? Now this is the question that we have discussed in the previous session, x minus x raised to the power 1 by 3 minus 2 equal to 0. You can also practice this problem with the help of the same code. And these are the outputs I have written over here. First one is the first column indicates the number of steps, number of iterations. Second, you are listing the values of A, then B, then this is the midpoint, that is the root basically, right? So after 10 iterations, you can see that the root is 3.52 and so on, right? So the last column corresponds to the value of the function at this root. So ideally this should be 0. लेकिन ये 0 नहीं बनता because these are the approximations. We will not get exact 0, but this is closer to 0. Let us say if you look at the 10th iteration, this is almost 0, right? So if you increase the number of iterations, we hope that you get a better approximation. So this is the idea of iterative technique. So this is a pseudo code for MATLAB. This is how you can proceed with the coding part. I have given the few steps that how to proceed with the coding of bisection. Now these are the few problems we have discussed. First problem, second problem. Similarly, you can practice another ones. I have listed few more equations here, like x plus 4 times cos of x is equal to 0. This has 3 solutions. You can plot the graph. Then you make use of bragg plot and you start your interval, apply the bisection, you will get the root. Similarly, here this is the for smallest positive root. In this question, because he is asking you to calculate the smallest positive root, then you better to start with interval 0 to 1, or you plot the graph. You will get the idea that the root is lying between 0 to 1. So A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1, tolerance is given to you. You can easily find out the answer of this, right? Similarly, last question is a polynomial equation. You have to find out the number of iterations using the formula I have taught you earlier, then find out the root of this, right? So these are just practice problems. You can practice on your own. I have run 2 different problems for you. You can discuss the other problems, right, on the same pattern. So let me now proceed with the next part. That is the Newton's method. Let me just open the slides of second method, Newton and secant method, right? So okay, so slides are visible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So now we proceed to the second method, that is Newton and secant method. So this is the brief outline. First, we will talk about Newton-Raphson method, then some failure cases, Then we have pseudocode for Newton-Raphson, then few practice problems. After that, we will discuss the secant method. At the last, I will try to make a comparison between two methods, right? Now, first we start with the Newton-Raphson method. So basically, you might have studied Newton-Raphson in your undergraduate courses. So let me just recall the idea of Newton-Raphson, that how this method works and how it is better than bisection method or secant method, right? So let me just give you the brief idea of Newton on the notepad. Okay, so Newton's method, right? So first of all, I will write down, I will not go into the so much theoretical details so that you might not get bored with the theory. I will go to the MATLAB implementation later on. Just you review what is Newton method, what is secant method, then we will go to the MATLAB window, right? So what is Newton method? Newton method, the formula is given by xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash xn, right? So this is the formula, if you remember, and n is running from 0, 1, 2 and so on, right? Now again, I am writing down here, the equation is, problem is same, fx is equal to 0. We are calculating the root, right? So what happens geometrically, if you look at geometry of Newton's method, then you will see that if you have a curve, say y is equal to fx, right? Say you want to compute the root. Let us say this is the root alpha, where the graph of the function cuts the x-axis, that becomes the root. This is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, right? Now, the idea of Newton is that you start with some initial approximation. Let us say we start with the initial approximation, say x naught, right? So x naught is my initial guess, right? So when we start with the initial approximation, the next step is you go to the graph, right? So on the graph, this point will be x naught comma f of x naught, right? So this is the point. Now at this point, we also know the slope. What is the slope? We know that slope is first derivative evaluated at the point x naught. So this is the slope, right? Now, the idea of Newton is that from this point, you draw a tangent to the curve. So I have drawn a tangent to the curve. So where it crosses the x-axis, that becomes your new approximation. So here, this is the new approximation x1. Now again, you go to the graph, you will get a point. Again, you draw a tangent, you will get a new approximation, say x2. Again, you go to the graph, again you will hit the x-axis at some point, say x3, and you continue like this. So we hope that this sequence will converge to the number alpha. This is the idea of Newton, very simple and very basic idea of Newton, that how to approach to the given solution, right? So we want to find out this x1. So x1 calculate करने के लिए क्या करेंगे? We make use of point slope form. Let us say we write down the equation of tangent at x naught comma f of x, right? So क्या बनेगी यहाँ पे equation of tangent? That is y minus, say I call it y naught, or you can, चलो इसको f of x naught लिख देते हैं. This is f of x naught, right, is equal to m times, what is m? That is slope x minus x naught. So this is the equation of the tangent line at the point x naught comma f of x naught, right? Now this equation, this tangent line will cross the x-axis at a point. That point is x1. So at x1 comma, what is the y coordinate here at x-axis? Y coordinate will be 0, right? So if I put y equal to 0, right? So we get this equation, and x will be equal to x1, right? So just you take this vector on the left hand side like this, and x0 minus this. So the value of x1 is this. So this is your first approximation. This is your first approximation. X1 is equal to x0 minus f by f dash. Similarly, you can find out x2, x1 minus f of x1 by f dash x1. And you can generalize. I have written the general formula at the top, right? So once you find out these approximations, after a few stages, you will either reach the root or you will get a good approximation to the desired root. Now, what are the main highlights of this method? Main highlights are, it requires f and first derivative. Okay? So once you know what is function, what is derivative, you can easily compute the iteration, right? Now this is the first requirement, that it requires two function evaluations, f and f dash, right? Now second is the order of convergence is 2. I will tell you what do you mean by order of convergence, right? So order of convergence you might have studied. So theoretically, you know the meaning. I will show you the computationally also what is the meaning of order of convergence, right? So order of convergence is 2, that is quadratic order of convergence, right? Now, third point here is, this is, you can say, this is the advantage. Now, let me write down one disadvantage. Disadvantage is, whenever the derivative at certain stage becomes 0 or nearly equal to 0, so the method will fail, right? So whenever the derivative becomes 0, तो क्या होगा? Method will not work in that case. Like आपके पास कुछ इस तरीके से है, ठीक है? Say you start from here, and if you plot a tangent, so this is almost parallel to x-axis, right? So it will not hit the x-axis at any point, so your method will not work. So it may happen at first stage, second stage, or any other stage. That is why I have written here f dash xn. So derivative should not be close to 0. If the derivative is 0, then Newton method fails miserably, right? So this is the disadvantage, you can say. And second disadvantage is that x0 should be sufficiently close to the root, right? This is a locally convergent method, right? So if you choose x0 very far away from the root, then the method may or may not converge. There are many other issues, like oscillatory problems is there, right? Convergence to undesired root problem is there, divergence issues are there. So these are few issues which are studied in Newton's method, right? But otherwise, agar ye method converge karega, then the convergence rate is very fast. It requires only 2 evaluations, right? So the efficiency index is also very high, that is 2 under root of 2, right? So this is a classical method, and we say that this is better than bisection because the order of convergence of bisection method is 1, but the order of convergence of Newton's method is 2, that is faster than the bisection method. So this is somewhat a classical method, generalized method. You can find out the roots of you can find out the multiple roots, you can find out the roots of system of nonlinear equations and so on. So this is a base method whenever you want to do some kind of research in this area. So Newton's method is always treated as a base method, right? So this is a very important method, and we will try to code this method in MATLAB. So this is the theoretical background of Newton method. So let me just again share the PPT with you. So I have written these things in the form of PPT here. You can just relate what we have studied till now. So this is the graphical interpretation of Newton-Raphson. I have just made the plot here. You can derive Newton-Raphson method graphically, and there are many other ways. With the help of Taylor series, you can find out this formula. Now, these are some graphs where you can see that you can look at, let us say, graph number A, right? So here you see that the graph is cutting here at some point, say this is the root, say alpha. Now you start from x0 here, you plot tangent, you go to x1, then again you go to the graph, then you plot tangent, you get x2, then again you go to the graph, plot tangent. So you see that your iterations are moving away from the root, right? So we say that the method is diverging in this case. So this happens only due to the wrong choice of initial approximation, right? Similarly, in the second case, you can see that if you start from this initial approximation x0, then you get x1, then again you get x2, then again you get x3, x4, like this. So you see that the iterations are just repeating, right? Once you get answer 1, then -1, then 1, then -1, like this, right? So this is the divergence problem which is encountered by Newton-Raphson method, right? Similarly, there are many other issues. Oscillatory issues is there, divergence issues are there, right? So these are the few issues that we will also डिस्कस इन दी ऑनगोइंग प्रॉब्लम्स. वहां पे आपको एक अभी क्वेश्चन हम ऐसा कराएंगे जहां पे ये सारी चीजें आती हैं. डेरिवेटिव बिकम जीरो and we will not be able to find out the root, right? So these are the few issues that you have to keep in your mind, right? Now this is the pseudo code for Newton-Raphson method, the algorithm, the idea with the help of which you can make a program for Newton-Raphson method, right? So this is the pseudo code. This is not the exact code. This is the idea that how you have to start coding for Newton-Raphson technique, right? Now, these are few problems for Newton-Raphson. So I think we should start with the problem part. So first problem here is you have to find out under root of 17 with the help of Newton-Raphson method, right? So let me first go to the command window, then make a program for Newton's method. Okay. So let me clear this command window. Okay. So now we will first make a code for Newton-Raphson method, right? So now you know what is the formula for Newton-Raphson, and the algorithm is simple as we done in the case of bisection method. Similarly, here we will implement the basic commands, right? So let me just start. So say first line is you clear all the variables, all the previous variables, right? Then the first step is what is the demand of Newton method? It demands initial approximation, right? So you just take x0. What is x0? This is the initial approximation. So x0 is equal to input. You will write enter the initial approximation, right? So this is the initial approximation. Okay. Now, next, you want to input some iterations. Let us say you input enter the number of iterations, right? So this is the second step. You enter the number of iterations, that how many iterations you want to perform. Now you can also enter the tolerance, make a general code. So you enter the tolerance, enter tolerance value, right? Now enter tolerance value, then you have to input the function. Now first question is, if you remember, first question is under root 17. We have to find out, basic question से start करेंगे, ज़्यादा complicated नहीं करेंगे पहले, simple questions, then we will go to some complicated problem, right? So first question is very simple, calculate under root 17 with Newton-Raphson method, right? So under root 17, so equation क्या बनेगी? Equation will be x square minus 17, right? Under root 17, let x is equal to under root 17, then x square minus 17 equal to 0. So this is the equation, right? So the function is handle x square minus 17, right? So now let us write down the derivative. What is derivative? Derivative क्या आएगा इसका? Derivative will be x square minus 17 का derivative क्या है? This is 2x, right? So derivative is 2x, okay? Now make use of
Okay, Manish sir is back with us now, so we can ask queries directly from him. Okay, please, Pooja ma'am, you can take over right now.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Manish sir, you are muted right now.
Suraj sir?
Yes, Manish sir.
Should we continue with the Newton's method in this lecture, or should we go to the queries?
Sir, how much time will it take to finish this Newton method?
I think it will take another 10 to 15 minutes because
Sir, I think then we can take over the queries, because if the time permits, then we can continue with this method. Otherwise, we should take up the queries of the participants.
Okay, no problem. We will go to this method in the next session. No problem.
Sure, sir. So Pooja ma'am, please, you can ask the queries of the participants, and Ms. Mahima Malik, please post the attendance link for the participants.
So, sir, hello.
Yes.
So, sir, first query is, but explain fprint command, please.
Yes. What is the query? Please tell me.
Hello.
Fprintf command. Yes. Fprintf command.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please explain this command.
Okay. So basically, fprint, you can make use of this command fprintf. So this is the command. So what is the argument? You have to write down in single quotes, like whatever you want to take the output. Say you can write down in English whatever you want to write down. Let us say the root is something, like, say, you close the quotes, then comma, then whatever the variable you have assigned in your program, say the root is, say, x1, or let us say the root is c. So you can just write down c here. Now there are various options in fprintf command. So one of the option I use frequently is %f. So this is for floating, basically, right? So whenever you have real number, so we have floating point representations of real numbers, like you deal with, say, fractions 0.0234. So the floating point representation becomes 0.234 into 10 to the power, say, -1, right? So this is used for floating point representations, and sometimes we make use of \n. This is for going to the new line. So there are various options available in fprintf command. So this is the basic we use in each and every code. Or you can make use of display command also. This is simple one. So you can write anything here like my name is, say, Munish, right? So this is how you can make use of display command. So these are two options. First one, printf. This is more sophisticated one for the programming, and this is very simple. If you don't want to go to this command, you can always make use of display command. Okay.
So next question is how to write. Can we do derivative by MATLAB symbolically?
Yeah. So basically, what we are going in Newton-Raphson method, we are calculating the derivative at each stage. So in this experiment, I was writing down the derivative manually, but you can do the derivative with the help of MATLAB. That is, let us suppose this is your function, say f is equal to handle x. Suppose the function is x square minus, say we were calculating the square root of 29, right? Now you want to find out the derivative. So with the help of the diff command, you can find out the derivative. Now diff, this is the command in MATLAB, diff. So diff of f comma x, but this will not give you the answer of the differentiation of this function. So you have to declare your variable x as a symbol, right? So there is command sims x. So you have to declare that x is your variable, sims x. Then you write down your function. Then you make this command diff f comma x. This will give you the derivative symbolically.
Okay, sir. So next question is how can we write how to write bar on an alphabet in legend function of graph with at least 3 curves are plotted and in each bar is used.
Bar, for example, like you want to write on x bar. This one.
Yes, sir. Manish, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there are, whenever you plot, let us say you make use of fplot command, right? So suppose you get a figure window. So there are many options available at the top. If you see at the figure window, you plot any function, simple function. So you always see various options on the, at the top of the figure window. So there are many options from where you can customize your particular graph. Otherwise, for giving x-axis, for y-axis you have various x labels, y labels, so you can always do these kind of modifications. There are many modifications available for the particular graphs. So particularly we have to look for x bar. I don't know exactly what is the exact command for x bar here, but we have customization in the figure window. I will definitely look at it and will tell you in the next session.
Yes, sir. I think the latex interpreter, latex works for this. So simply backslash bar.
Backslash x.
Yeah.
This
backslash
one.
Bar, and in curly braces we can write x.
Okay. Okay. This one.
Yeah.
This one. Okay. This one. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So you can try this one. The student whose query is how to write down x bar, you can please try this one. If this doesn't work, then please let me know in the next session.
Okay. So next question is, in the bisection method, you have compared the sign of A and sign of C.
Yeah.
But what will happen if at C, FC becomes 0?
Yes. For example, this is the interval. This is the root. Say C is the root, right? So this is the rarest case that C becomes root. That is f of C becomes 0. So in that case, you can, I have told you that this is the basic program. You can always do modifications. You can plug in another command, say if f of C is 0, then again, you say you write down display that the root is achieved like this, right? So if the value of the function at C is 0, you stop your process, otherwise you continue like this. Okay, but this is the rarest case. You will not get the that you start with the interval A to B at first stage, you get the root. This is not the case.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. These are the only questions.
Okay. Okay. So in the next session, we will continue with the programming of Newton's method. then we will go to the fixed point technique for solving nonlinear equations, right? So today 10 to 15 minutes are wasted due to technical error. So I'm sorry for that. So we will continue from here in the next session.
Okay, thank you very much, Manish sir, and
Okay.
thank you very much for this wonderful session. Actually, I was being able to attend this session of yours, and
Okay.
I really
Thank you.
enjoyed this session. And I got personally two, three messages from the participants privately to me, and they have all praised you for this wonderful lecture.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Manish sir. So tomorrow we will
Okay.
meet at 11:55 on the same platform, sir.
Right, so thank you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you all of you. Thank you all participants for listening. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much all. So we will meet tomorrow at 9:55 with Akhilesh sir with the first lecture. Okay, thank you everyone.
Okay. Okay.